Is it really the most wonderful time of the year?
Yeah,
That's a no.
it's a busiest time of the year.
Which is why we're going to keep announcements really short today, right?
We will. Yeah,
Right.
it's just a chance to happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays
Yeah,
is
hopefully you're still
right.
listening in, but also sort of taking time off, and hopefully you've got the systems in place to take some time off and feel like
Yeah.
it's not, you know, interrupted.
I don't know how many people listen the exact day it drops. Some people
No.
do,
Yeah.
but some people go back and tell me that they listen to 6 or 7 a week just to get caught up. So,
Yeah.
obviously it's the holiday. We're recording
Yeah.
this and it's going to be Christmas in a
Yeah.
day, one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. So
It's a little
yeah.
pre-record, but it is the
Yeah. So
holiday
maybe we don't
season.
hope that you're listening today. Hopefully you're spending time with friends and family and you're away from the office.
Yeah, and Hanukkah, by the way,
Yeah.
bumps into Christmas this
Oh,
year.
does
It's
it?
it's the 25th. My mother-in-law hosts Hanukkah. We just
Yeah.
show up, but
See,
it's
busiest
a
time of
little
the
bit,
year.
it is the busiest time. Yeah. What am I talking about? I can't talk. I have to
Yeah.
go. It's a
Yeah.
funny little episode. I decided that I was going to refer back to one of the many, many times, to 10 of the many times on the
Yeah.
podcast this last year where I said, "Oh, that's so good. I should put that on a
Yeah. Yeah.
tattoo."
Yeah. I feel like that's more frequent that
I
you're saying
know.
that.
Well, you won't let me talk about getting a neck lift anymore, so
I'd
I've
rather you talk
changed
about the
it.
tattoo.
Really?
Yeah.
I still want a neck lift. If you're looking on YouTube, I'm
Yeah.
showing you why.
By the end
There
of
you
the
go.
episode, do you decide which one you're gonna get?
The
Yeah.
tattoo, I'm leaning toward one.
Let us know when we
It's quite long though,
yeah.
so I'm trying to figure out where can you put it that won't sag into like some kind of tragic mess by the time
Yeah.
I'm an old lady and look like a
Yeah.
Shar-Pei.
Well, if you're listening to this episode,
Wait a minute. Did you just
follow
hear what
business.
I said? An old lady who looks like a Shar-Pei. You had one
Oh,
drop there. You're not gonna.
I'm not gonna be invited back on the show.
You
Maybe let's go.
you
Yeah.
completely missed that opportunity
I
to make
did.
me
I
feel
was
better
already on
about
to my next
myself.
thought because what I want people to do is follow Business of Design on Instagram. And when you see promos for this episode, vote on what tattoo Kimberly should get.
Or forget the tattoo. She needs a neck lift. What about that? Neck
No,
lift, tattoo.
no.
Neck
Okay,
lift,
talk her out of that
tattoo.
one on social
Neck
and
lift,
just yeah, let us
tattoo.
weigh in on what tattoo.
You keep thinking though, at some point, I know you're going to step in and say, by the way, you're not going to look like a Shar-Pei, but
You're
just
not gonna look like a
but,
Sharpay.
oh yeah, yeah. Now it doesn't count.
Yeah,
Now
you
it
mentioned the
doesn't
necklace
count.
stuff. I just roll my eyes now. I don't even. I know it's gonna
Oh.
come up at the next one.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone. I hope there's a
holidays.
necklace lift
Lift.
necklace. A necklace could be nice.
Necklace. You can get a necklace.
I hope there's a neck lift in your box. If that sounds crazy, actually, I don't want to say that at all. But if that's what you want, I hope you get what you want. That's what I want to say.
Happy holidays, everyone. We will see you in 2025.
We'll be here.
25. Crazy.
Well, hello, you fabulous interior design professional. It is so good that you're here. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself. And I do that. I'm not going to lie, I do that a fair bit, but it's so much nicer talking to you. And besides, I want to share some thoughts that I've been having lately about getting myself a new tattoo. I only have currently one tattoo, and you can see it here if you're on YouTube. You can see it. It's a little hashtag, and it's a tattoo that I have that matches one that my daughter has, and it's for my favorite nephew who is gone, and we miss him so much, and it was so sad, and so we wanted to recognize that. But lately, I've been thinking about all the incredible wisdom that has been passed down to me through this podcast. And I was thinking that, I would kind of like to get another tattoo. And many times on the podcast, I have said, oh my gosh, that is so good. That needs to be a tattoo on my body so I remember it. So, in this episode, if you will allow me, I'm going to share with you the next tattoos I think I need to get on my body. Although, if I'm honest, things are sagging at an alarming rate. Where does one put a tattoo with any hope that it's going to be where you started with it? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, tattoos coming up. Hey, did you know that 50% of interior design professionals aren't procuring at all for their clients? The reason? It's just too hard. but not with Daniel House Club. They make it easy. DHC simplifies your design business, offering everything you need in one place. No more wasting time managing orders. They've got it covered so you can concentrate on creating beautiful spaces. Plus, they offer some of the best trade pricing on top brands like Theodore Alexander, Jaipur Living, and Rove Concepts with flat rate shipping. To join, visit danielhouse.club and use the promo code BOD2024, all caps, for 50% off your first year of their Pro Plus membership. And for you longtime members of DHC, they want to reward you for your loyalty. Use the code PROFIT2024, all caps, at checkout to receive 10% off the value of your next order. Joining Daniel House Club is like Instacart for your interior design business. Experience how easy managing procurement for your clients can be. All right. Well, I did make a list. I don't normally refer to notes when I'm doing the podcast, but just this once I had to make a list because I knew I would forget some of them. But I'm going to start number one with this saying that, yes, I think should be tattooed on my body. If only so that when we meet in person, I could hold it out for you to read it, because we meet so many design professionals who aren't quite convinced that they need to go as far with their process as I have. They'll say things like, well, Kimberly, she's got a lot of clients and big money clients, and I'm just, it's just little old me, and I'm doing small jobs, and I don't really need 15 steps. Maybe I can get away with 9. And I will tell you, you probably need a lot more than 9. In fact, I would say you certainly need at least 15. And the first tattoo I am going to propose being placed on my body, somewhere you can read it when we meet, is this one: systems do not complicate your life. They free you from friction. And this was said on podcast number 395 by an entrepreneurial expert named Rachel Cook. Rachel said, systems do not complicate your life. They free you from friction. And that can be a huge system like the one that we use for a trade day, where I've got all these checklists of things I want to make sure I do when I'm on site with a client, or massive checklists like those I have for step 4, teeny tiny little checklists that I have for step 5. Those are all good systems. But it can also be very small things. I know I've shared that the very first system we ever had in my office was, how do you like your coffee? And the reason we had that system is because we had interns, and they would say, I'm going to go on a coffee run. And we'd go, great. And we'd all spend 5-6 minutes explaining exactly how we wanted our coffee, because we're all high maintenance people who know what we want. And then she would come back and the order wouldn't be right and everybody be frustrated. And we finally decided to write it down. And suddenly we had a system for when the intern came and said, I'm going to go on a coffee run. Anyone want it? She just had to bring this piece of paper with her and check off who wanted their usual coffee. And the exact specific directions were right there. So it made it so, so easy. Oh, the phone is ringing. Pause. All right, bye for now. Hilarious. Oh my gosh, is our work ever done? I don't think it is. Like, I think that just illustrates perfectly how our work is never done. Completely forgot that I have the stool outstanding for a client from the summer. It was a different stool that we have coming for a different client that got separated. Anywho, I don't even know where we were. But systems do not complicate your life. They free you from friction. That's how I'm going to end that. Then the second tattoo I might get on my body is no is a complete sentence. But actually, the second tattoo I would get would just say no, N-O. That's it. It doesn't require explanation. It doesn't require justification. I don't have to provide extensive reasoning for why I don't want to do something. If I need to protect my resources of time or money or creative energy, I'm entitled to say no. And every time I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. So I'm trying to be really choosy about what I say yes to and more comfortable saying no. You guys know that one. And I'm going to do this third one on the heels of that because they're somewhat related. Let me look into that. This one has become something I've used the last couple of years, but was never comfortable using before. I always like to give clients an immediate answer. I don't know if you're like that. They can ask me anything and I want to solve it on the spot, in the moment, exactly right then and there. And frequently, in order to do that, I will give too much. I will promise too much. I will offer to do something for free to make something right. Like I will just kind of want to solve the problem so much, I'm willing to throw myself under the bus. And I am training myself to say, let me look into that, or let me go back to the office and think about that. And I'm going to get in touch with you tomorrow. So let me look into that is a really good one to practice after you learn no. So there are 3 tattoos that I think I should have on my body. Let's see. How about a 4th? How about this one? I met this lovely woman this summer, Marie Cloud. Actually, I ran into Marie at High Point as well. Marie was on episode 391, and she had this wisdom to share, not so much in line with running my business, although you know what, I take that back. Why wouldn't it be in line with running my business? I thought of it in terms of providing my decorating ideas to clients. But here's the quote that I would put on my body: design with intention, not just for attention. And I think that that's really wise. I had a phone call from a client a week ago, and I tease her that she's the worst client I've ever had because we did a project for her like 20 years ago and she won't let me freshen it up. It looks really good still. I think it's starting to look a little tired around the edges, but it doesn't look horrible and it doesn't need to be completely redone. Just a few little changes, maybe different lampshade, maybe a couple different pillows, a few little updates. And I said to her, as I often do, that I'm such an idiot. I should have designed her home when we originally did it with every trend that was in the magazines at the time, because it would be so exhausted and tired by now. We would have had to redo it, twice in this amount of time. But the truth is that isn't how I like to work. I do like to design with intention, not just to get someone's attention. And I think that that is perhaps applicable to how I want to design my business as well, right? I do care that the business runs smoothly and I provide an amazing experience to my clients. I don't want it to just look like that on social media, but I want it to be that. So thank you, Marie Cloud, for that one. I think that's a really good one. Was that number 4? It's kind of hard to keep track because I didn't number them and I'm kind of skipping around here. Number 5, this is one of my favorite ones. If you've been around business of design for any length of time, you know that this is my number 1 favorite question to ask a tradesperson, particularly if they are being obstinate and not being helpful. And it is this: is this an insurmountable problem? I love to say that because immediately the exact person who was giving me grief and not being helpful will begin to say, well, no, I mean, I'm an expert. I can figure out how to solve it. Great. Let's start there, right? I have used this so many times and it has turned a really bad situation right around, sometimes in spite of the characters, uh, position, they almost find themselves going, well, no, no, I can solve it, but that's okay. I don't care. As long as we come up with solutions, I really love that. My husband hates when I ask him that. He hates because he knows it's like, it's a trap. Pull up, Maverick, pull up. Anyway, is this an insurmountable problem? I love that one. That one's by me. That one's not from a show. So there you go. Okay, is it number 6? Are we on number 6? Okay. Oh, this one has been probably said in 28 different ways, but most recently it was episode 390, Vanessa McQuaid. And it was this: when you are speaking to everyone, you are speaking to no one. I just was reading the newspaper this morning and it was a similar article. It's like when everything is a crisis, then nothing is a crisis. When you are speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. Years ago, when I started my career in television, someone gave me a really good piece of advice, and that is don't think about speaking to the whole TV audience. You can't imagine all the different variations that are going on and who's watching the program. Speak to your best friend. Talk to your best friend just exactly like you would if she were in the room. And that has been such good advice that I have followed when I'm on TV, but it also works in my design business. As I have fine-tuned my website, I find the clients who get in touch with us are more and more aligned with how I like to work and how we like to run our business. And so I narrow my focus and I speak specifically to that one person I think might be an ideal client. And I run the risk of turning off some other people who probably be pretty good clients. But the upside is that I just get these wonderful, amazing, ideal clients who are phoning my office. And our closure rate, our sales closure rate is so high. And I think that's because I know who I'm talking to. So when you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. Just remember that. And I think, I don't even know what number that was. Was that 6? All right. Cheryl will be like, oh, for goodness sakes, can't you count, woman? Um, Number 7. This is also me, all me, 100% me, all the time. I know I said this on episode 384. The client is not always right. And it is this: the client's budget and the client's wish list are never in alignment. I should put that somewhere clients can read it, because when you meet a new client and they tell you what the budget is, and I'm using air quotes if you're listening to this and you're not looking at it on YouTube, when they tell you what the budget is, what they're saying is this is how much money we want to spend. And then the next thing they'll tell you is all the things they want to buy for that much money. And it has never happened in a nearly 30-year career where the client's budget has matched the wish list. The wish list always, 100% of the time, costs more than the budget the client wants to spend. Now, that doesn't mean the client has to come up with more money. It's possible that the client's budget is firm and set in stone. Great. Then the client is going to tell me what they want to spend when I tell them what all the things on their wish list cost. There's no other way to do it. Done, running around trying to find less expensive stuff that can stretch a budget when that's not good for my brand and it's not good for the clients. And how many times has this happened? You know this has happened, right? You've killed yourself to bring in some project at a number that the client wants to see the budget. And then they say, oh, I thought there would be, more pizzazz in the kitchen. I thought we'd have more, something fancier in the living room. Well, sure, if we had more money, and you're almost penalized for getting to that. So I tell clients now, whatever the budget is, I can guarantee you it's not enough for everything on your wish list. So let's price the wish list, and then you tell me what you want to spend. All right. That should be number one. That should be my number one because I use that all the time. I think it's number 8. I'm going to say number 8 is watch out for toxic positivity. What is toxic positivity? All right. This is toxic positivity. And this happened to me. This is something I heard in the last 2 weeks. I was coaching someone who phoned for one-on-one business coaching. And I said, what are you charging? We're looking at your profit and loss statement. I'm like, there's just not enough money here. Nothing's making sense. What are you charging? And what she said was this: well, I know I'm not charging enough, but it really doesn't matter because I'm loving what I do. And my husband makes good money, and I know that I'll charge more someday. To me, that is the very definition of toxic positivity. You cannot afford to do jobs and not make money. It is dangerous. This is not something you should be dabbling in because you can financially be hurt by doing this work. So you don't want to dabble and you don't want to mess around. So that's one form of toxic positivity. I know business is slow right now, but it's okay because, I'm going to take this time for myself. No, it really isn't okay. If business is slow, it means you've allowed your pipeline to dry up and you better get busy immediately to fix that problem, right? So, and I find toxic positivity is a female trait. Oh yeah, I know my whole life is falling apart, but it's okay because I've been getting to yoga. Like, no, it's not okay. Your life is falling apart. Great, you're going to yoga, but that doesn't fix your falling apart life. So I'm trying to work on that in myself because I have a tendency to look for the silver lining too soon. Too soon. Give it a minute. Take a minute. Have some grief. Feel lousy about something that's happened to you recently. It's okay. And then do something about it. So how about that? Ooh, I think I'm approaching the last couple here. Where are my notes? Sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay, number 9. I can't even read my writing. So let's do this one. Episode 378, Jamila Watkins. Oh, this is so good. Never be more concerned about your client's money than you are about your own. Wow, oh wow, oh wow. How many times have we met designers who said, well, the clients couldn't really afford this thing or that thing, and it was really important to have it in the photo, so I just gave it to them, or I gave it to them for half price, or that is a perfect example of allowing your client's money to be more important than yours. And what also plays into that, of course, is charging fees that are too low so your clients can do more work with you, but you suffer because you can't take care of your family, you can't take care of your community, you can't build a nest egg for future. So I love that she said that. Never be more concerned about your client's money than you are about your own. And let's say number 10. Are we already at number 10? This one is really, really, really good. This is from episode 383, Sam Treadle. She's from Sydney. And she was talking about how to negotiate better with clients, but I think this applies in a lot of areas. And she said, give yourself permission to feel awkward for 15 seconds. Now, if you do the math and you count 15 seconds, you time that, it feels like forever. But according to Sam, and I think this is true, when you're negotiating with clients, when you're trying to solve a problem, when you're at an impasse, I know for me, I will sit on my hands and I will try to pause for as long as possible, not speak. Allow the client to speak, hear them out, let them say all the things they want to say. Don't fill the air with just chit chat. And Sam says if you give yourself 15 seconds, no one can go longer than 15 seconds, and the other person will say something that would allow you to move the negotiation forward, probably to your favor. We could be negotiating over money, but we could also be negotiating over time. We could be negotiating over a pattern of wallpaper. There's so many reasons we're negotiating in our job every day, all the time, right? So there you go. 10 expressions, sayings, good ideas, strong work ethics that I would have tattooed on my body in order to remind myself of them every single day, except for I'm really not going to get that many tattoos. I'm going to get one tattoo. I just am not sure which one. If you have an idea on which of these should be my tattoo, please do let me know. I would love to hear it. And if you have an idea for the podcast and you've never been on the podcast, don't you think it's time? I mean, honestly, what are you waiting for? We would love to have you as a guest on the podcast, particularly if you're a Business of Design member and you've used the programs we teach to transform your business, then you know something about making it work, and everybody wants to learn from you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this silly episode. And again, give me some feedback if you know what my tattoo should be. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful week and go out there and make some money, will you?